today we are talking all about my new custom leather briefcase for work travel. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Desmond. I make content about tech and travel gear, and we are talking all about this new custom briefcase from Baer. I do a ton of traveling for work, and every trip I go on, I like to bring a work bag. I don't carry backpacks into the office or to conferences or to work events. I just think a briefcase style carry is a lot more formal and fits my aesthetic. So if you're not familiar with the company Baer, they, I think, were established in 2015. They just make very high quality leather bags and leather goods. I'll show you some of the other accessories that they sent over, but the bag quality is just incredible. So let's just start by talking about the bag. This right here is the Essential Briefcase. It is made from 100% Italian vegetable tan leather. This is in the solid brown. This thing looks and feels and smells incredible. Other than the leather itself, it uses brass hardware like these zippers, the pieces over here for the strap clips. Everything else though is made entirely of that Italian leather. This thing holds a ton. Also, hopefully you can see, I actually have this thing packed up so I can kind of just show you what it looks like with the things that I actually carry for a work trip, and then we'll unpack it together to see how much stuff is actually in here. But again, making my way around the bag itself, like I said, the leather is incredibly smooth. It's really supple. I mean, even the unboxing experience of this bag shipped was really nice. They included a shopping bag. Everything was packaged really, really well, and this thing actually, after several weeks of use, still looks pretty much brand new. It still looks like it just came out of the bag itself, and I'll show you that right here. And again, right out of the box, of course, leather tends to look fantastic. It's untouched, it's unused, not a lot of natural oils on it, no scratches or scuffs. But having traveled with this for the last several weeks, this thing has held up really, really well. No scratches, nothing crazy. I think the patina is starting to happen pretty naturally. And again, the bag looks almost completely new. I'm pretty impressed with how well it's held up. It's probably also because this is a very soft, like you can see how it kind of molds to the shape of the things inside. So it's not a very rigid leather bag. I've definitely had versions of that before, but this is a soft, super supple leather that I really like carrying around, and it makes it really easy to kind of overpack this bag as well, since there is a lot of flexibility in the shape and the structure. So as we make our way around the bag, a couple of things to notice. We've got these really nice, sturdy, again, all Italian leather handles. I really like holding the bag like this. I keep the strap on, which again is also made entirely of leather and that solid brass hardware. I don't tend to use a strap very often, especially if I'm wearing a sport coat or a jacket. I don't particularly love the look or the lines, but I keep this on because there are always times where you want to go hands-free, and the strap is totally fine. One thing that I will say is, you can see here we've got a kind of wider strip of leather to allow for more support. Because this bag can hold so much stuff, and because I tend to pack it pretty full, especially when I get on the plane, I'll empty it out when I get to the hotel. This strap, I mean, it's comfortable enough, but it's definitely not designed to hold a ton of weight and make it feel pretty comfortable. So let's start getting into some of these pockets, right? So we'll turn it over to the back. First thing you're gonna notice, might be my initials here. It's actually really, really subtle. That's the custom piece I'm talking about. They can put your initials or any type of font or text or copy that you want on the bag. It's so minimal and low-key, only I know that it's there. And then the other thing you're going to notice is a luggage pass-through strap. This is clutch. I really, really love having something like this built into a work bag and a briefcase. A lot of the briefcases that I've used, especially ones that come from designer brands like a Prada, Gucci, LV, or any of those higher end brands, they do not tend to install a luggage strap. I don't know if it's because it's not fashionable or if it's just not a part of the aesthetic. I think it's a huge missed opportunity because this is so functional and so useful. I think Baer did a really good job of integrating this into the design and still keeping it looking very nice. So while we're back here, let's just go ahead with the first zipper. That's the one thing that I will say. These are some of the smoothest zippers that I've ever used on any bag. Full stop. It is just incredible how frictionless it feels. But again, once it's locked in place, these zippers aren't going anywhere. But if you just pull on these little leather tabs, man, this thing slides right open. I don't have anything in here right now, but we've got this black cloth material. This pocket is large enough to fit an iPad Pro, maybe 11 inch, probably not the larger 12.9 or 13 inch, but it's plenty of space out here if you want quick access to a notebook, journals, anything flat is going to be really nice in this part. And then it's going to add some rigidity to the bag itself, because then you might have an iPad here keeping the shape. This has two main compartments. As you can see here, you can see these two zipper lines. Let's go with the first one. And again, let's watch. It really zips open so nicely. What I've zipped open here, this is kind of the laptop compartment. You can probably see some of the elements in here. We've got the laptop back here. We've got a protective sleeve, of course. I keep a smaller pouch, I'll take that out. And then I've got a notebook or an agenda or some type of planner in here. So let's start with the laptop. This is a 13-inch MacBook Pro. That fit in there perfectly. You can get a 16-inch in there, no problem. Like I mentioned, I have a smaller pouch. I always travel with a smaller pouch like this. This is from Grams 28, not really relevant to this video, but I just keep all my things, chapstick, medicine, cologne, toothbrush, just small things that I need when I'm on the plane and I just want to grab this pouch after I sit down, and it usually has all the stuff that I want. Finally, I have a planner, agenda, journal, whatever you like to carry. I carry a relatively large one because I've got the space, which is fantastic, and that's usually it for this pocket. Inside, though, is also an additional pocket right here. You can put little cables, tiny little things, anything you really need. All right, turning it over to this side, let's talk about this pocket right here. The difference between the laptop pocket and this one is this uses the double zipper pulls, which is really nice. And again, you can hear how easily that glides open. This is probably one of my favorite pockets because it's kind of got an expandable opening style. Not fully clamshell, so everything falls out, but when you unzip it, you have full access to your goods like this. And in here, I've actually got a lot of things. I actually have my Osmo Pocket 3. I travel with this everywhere because it's a great, tiny 4K camera with stabilization built in. It's good for just content creation in general or capturing moments in videos. Next, I've got a Solus 5G. This is my global Wi-Fi, MiFi kind of hotspot. It also doubles as a portable battery, but this thing allows me to get 5G internet anywhere in the world with a built-in eSIM. So it's really useful. I've gotten a lot of questions about this in the comments. I'll probably make a full video on this and how it works. And let's get to the big stuff in the bag. I've actually got my Sony ZV-E1 in here, and that's a nice thing. Something like this fits perfectly in here. As someone who travels and likes to document and make content and just have a camera on me at all times, the fact that it can fit my ZV-E1, my main kind of travel video camera, is fantastic. This is a 20mm f1.8G lens, and then of course you can throw on a 35, you can throw on any lens, and it'll still fit really well in this bag. Of course, this is about the same size as my Leica Q2, so of course my Leica Q2 will fit as well. And then I decided to throw this in there just for illustration. This is my gigantic power bank from SharGeek. This is like a 24,000 mAh battery. It's humongous, and I just put it in here so I could show you how big of a battery I could keep in there. Other things hopefully you'll see in here, we had those two pockets. That's where the smaller items went. So a lot of just tiny little pockets and pouches in here for organization. It's got 3 pen loops. I keep my travel, or I guess everyday pens in here. I just like a nice pen. They last forever. Anyways, that is everything that fit in this bag. Of course, not everyone carries the same kind of gear as I do, or as much gear as I do, but hopefully that gives you an idea of the types of items, the shapes, the variations and sizes that you can fit in a bag like this, while honestly still maintaining a very aesthetic like silhouette. It doesn't look overly bulky. When it's empty, it still kind of holds a really nice shape, so it just looks good overall, this is your classic briefcase style, so you can't really go wrong. Another thing that I will mention now that I've been playing with it a bit is I forgot we've got the brass little feet on the bottom, so it makes sure your briefcase leather doesn't touch the ground. So whenever you place it down, those 4 little feet will prop it up just enough to keep it from the floor of an airport or a plane or an office, just anywhere you don't want to put your bag down. And then Von Baer also included this beautifully made custom leather luggage tag with my initials on it as well. So overall, I'm really happy with this bag. I've used it on almost every single work trip I've been on, from London to New York to San Francisco to Vegas. I've just been bringing this thing everywhere with me. One, because I think it does a good job of being a solid personal bag when I travel, which means it has enough volume in it that I can actually carry the things that I need onto the plane and to the hotel, including items as large as my AirPod Maxes, for example, right? I've got my laptop, my cameras, all the things that I need, and then everything else will go into my carry-on. And then when I get to the hotel, I will empty this thing out and just have the work essentials in here. And again, it's fantastic there. So it's been a really good travel hybrid, in my opinion. Sometimes people like to travel with backpacks or they travel with duffel bags. You can't bring those into the office, or I mean, I don't bring those into the office. I don't use those types of bags at conferences, and usually I'll bring an extra in the carry-on. So the fact that I don't have to bring 2 bags has been really, really nice. The other piece is this leather is just really so nice. It is supple, it is soft, it is just really nice to touch. It smells fantastic. It looks beautiful, and I think the patina is happening really, really nicely. Everything about it has been fantastic. It's also really durable. This thing gets shoved under the seat of an airplane all the time. I'm moving it from an Uber to the hotel to the office. I'm not babying the bag, nor do I baby any of the bags that I ever use, but this thing looks brand new. It is just held up really well, and it's, again, since it's real 100% Italian leather, it will actually get a lot more character over time. The more you use it, the more that patina sets in, the more it becomes kind of your own. And that's that aged look that, you know, sometimes we even pay for when it comes to designer bags. This thing has been pretty phenomenal so far. Now, those are all great things to say about a bag. Again, it's not sponsored. I like bags in general. I have more expensive bags, I have cheaper bags, so my opinion is just coming from a well-rounded testing of different briefcases and materials. But this thing comes in at about $1,500 before tax. Ideally, shipping is free on something like this. It really depends on what you're looking for, if it's about quality and if it's about materials. And this is classic aesthetics, right? This is a standard old school style briefcase design, so it's not particularly special. It's the materials and the build quality that are. So I think if you're looking for something purely on the side of just build, then yes, consider the $1,500 price tag, because there are designer brands out there, like I mentioned, your Pradas, your Gucci's, LVs, I don't know, Goya, there are a number of designer brands that make beautiful work briefcase bags. They use a very high quality leather, and they do a great job of building well designed and fashionable, aesthetically pleasing bags. But they're usually double the price because of that brand name. So what I see here is a lot of that quality without the additional price that comes with buying something from Gucci or Prada, for example. I think this is a smarter choice, but again, it's not a cheap bag for a lot of people. There are options out there that exist that use a different type of leather. A lot of you may not even notice. So I would do your homework. I think for $1,500, it's a lot to ask people to spend on a briefcase unless you really, really know what you're looking for and the value of the materials and all of that goes into it. With that said, if you've got the money to spend and you are looking for something that will likely last a lifetime if you take care of it right, and you're not looking for the hype of, say, a designer logo or a designer emblem, this thing is a great option. I mean, you have all the luxury materials here. The build quality is here. I mean, you can even, like, look at the way that the leather just shines in the light. It is just really beautifully tanned, really beautifully conditioned. It's really just, I love using this bag. It's so nice and comfortable. So if you are someone who appreciates just high quality leather goods, I would definitely consider doing your research, learning more about this bag, looking at some alternatives, of course. But this is definitely up there in terms of value for what you are getting. All right, probably a long video, but a lot to say about this bag. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos just like this. I will catch y'all in the next one.